Welcome to general session for August the 20th, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
Just be prepared. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Boyce, I know you wanted to say something before we get started.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to just take a personal point of privilege to recognize Tyler Miles, who came back to visit us. She was one of our interns. Where's Tyler? She's still here? Hey, give her a round of applause, everyone, for me. Tyler is a graduate student at Indiana University and finished her internship here last summer, and was an outstanding and amazing intern. And I'm telling you now, all the directors here, you should get her resume. She'd be a great hire, I'm telling you now. And I've already told Tamara and Jessica to be on watch, because when she graduates, I might want to replace one of them with her. I'm kidding. I would never. They are the best two. They're the best two. They know I'm just kidding. But I did want to point out Tyler, because internships really do help build our workforce. And when you have someone who has interned in public service and really did it well and enjoyed it, I think we have to make an effort to capture those people and really get them into our system. And I want to point Tyler out, because she was an amazing intern for us. We've had some really good interns, by the way. But she's one that would definitely be an easy hire for any one of your departments. And so I hope you get to know Miss Tyler Miles before she goes. She's just dropping in. She's still got a year and a half to go in graduate school, but hopefully we can get her back to Central Ohio when she does. So good to see you, Tyler.
Tyler, what's your major?
Oh, I'm getting my master's degree in arts administration and public affairs.
Wonderful. Welcome to back here. We've hired some amazing interns.
Some of them have become staff people for the various offices as well.
Especially my policy director, Mike Hockman.
Yeah. And
Mike Salvador here.
Lloyd
Lauren
Ramon was one as well.
We've got some amazing people that we've hired on, yeah.
And I'll say that in all the different governments that I've worked in different levels, this is probably the most highest percentage ratio where we have an intern and then they're so quality that you work hard to keep them. I've just never seen such a pure system of internships that come into the workforce in such a good way. And so whatever we're doing it right with the internships. It's a good program.
Well, thank you for recognizing your intern and giving us a chance to talk about the importance of internships, apprenticeships.
Yep, absolutely.
All of those programs mean a lot and allow us to really hire the best and brightest of all of the people in the community. So with that, we need a motion to approve the minutes of June 4th general session.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Moved and second voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Minutes have been approved.
Great. The Common Pleas General Division Court.
Resolution 599-19, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the State of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for the Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison program in the amount of $4,500,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lori Francescan, Chief Probation Officer for the Franklin County Court of Common Pleas.
Michael Daniels, Director of Justice Policy and Programs.
This resolution authorizes a grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for the Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison program in the amount of $4.5 million. Pursuant to the Memorandum of Understanding, the Board of Commissioners/Sheriff will receive 50% of this funding, and the Common Pleas Court will receive 50%. The court will use these dollars to offset the cost of 12 risk reduction probation officer positions. These officers supervise the Felony 4 and Felony 5 population of offenders who are impacted by the legislation associated with TCAP, with a focus upon addressing probationer risk and recidivism reduction through supervision utilizing evidence-based practices. I'll turn it over to Mike to speak to.
Commissioners, with the other 50% of the funding, we will continue to support efforts that keep people out of the jail, including work release, which is a line item that was cut from the state budget in order to fund TCAP, increases with our support of electronic monitoring. And between the TCAP money we got for fiscal 19, as well as this contract for 20 and 21, our office will have invested, or will invest, a little over $1.3 million in temporary and permanent supportive housing for individuals who cycle through the facilities.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 599-19.
I'll second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution 599-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. The county engineer.
Resolution number 600-19, final hearing for establishing, altering, and widening of Alum Creek Drive at Rural Road, Hamilton Township and Madison Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Cornell Robertson, Franklin County Engineer, and 28 years ago, an intern at the Franklin County Engineer's Office.
My name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering, and I was also an intern at the Franklin County
Amazing,
Engineer's
yeah.
Office.
Yeah. So to reiterate, Commissioner Boyce, exactly what you were talking about, Franklin County has a very strong internship program, very, very valuable, and I would like to invite Tyler to apply at the County Engineer's Office if you're so interested.
You have hired many interns,
Yes.
as you two were hired as
Yeah.
interns, yeah.
Yeah, we have many stories similar, started out as interns and 20 years later, still working at the office. So it's just a testament to how nice it is to work for Franklin County.
And I just want to say, Tyler, you should apply to BOC as well as the engineer's office. We can compete.
Commissioners, this first resolution is for a capital improvement project in the southeast part of the county. It is a cooperative project that includes multiple agencies, Franklin County, City of Columbus, City of Groveport, Hamilton Township, Madison Township, Pizzuti as private developer, and Kurtz Brothers as well. And so this is a project that we're very proud of, has received OPWC funding and TID funding. This is the first project for TID approval for $200,000. And so this will be a very good improvement for the area. This particular hearing is for the right-of-way process to begin. And I would say that if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. And while I have the microphone, the subsequent resolution, if approved, would allow us to begin the right-of-way acquisition process.
Okay.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 600-19.
Second,
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
yes.
Resolution number 600-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 601-19, preliminary allocations and final encumbrance of the county motor vehicle license fee $5 funds for the City of Columbus in the amount of $1,117,419.18.
Commissioners, as stated, this is a $5 funds resolution for City of Columbus, and particularly for Wilson Road improvement from Sullivan Avenue north to Broad Street. This is a collaborative project that will be administered by City of Columbus with participation from Franklin County in regards to the bridge over Camp Chase.
I'm just curious, how does that money, is that money just transferred to an account for the city, or how does that work? Would we collect it, but
My understanding is the county engineers across the state administer the various $5 fund program. And then as the various cities, municipalities have a desire to utilize that money, then they approach the county engineer's office, and we have a list of roadways that are typically or that are acceptable to use such funds. And then we begin this process with the commissioners, and that's a great checks and balances process, provides transparency, and so we would feel that this is appropriate use for those
Absolutely.
funds.
Absolutely. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 601-19.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 601-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 602-19, Report 6 of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of the property abutting the Boer Road from Quail Creek Boulevard to State Route 104 project, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $72,333.
Commissioners, as noted, this resolution seeks compensation for property owners abutting the Boer Road from Quail Creek Boulevard to State Route 104 Improvement Project. It's a collaborative project between Jackson Township, Franklin County, and Grove City, located in the southwest portion of the county. In Jackson Township, we'll reconstruct Boer Road, and we'll build a modern roundabout at the intersection of Buckeye Parkway. We negotiated with the property owners, and compensation was based on appraised fair market value. And any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 602-19.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 602-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. The sheriff.
Resolution number 603-19, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations for the purchase of a mapping drone.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Chilerick with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize the transfer of general fund appropriations within the Sheriff's Office from materials and services to capital outlays in the amount of $8,330. This would be for a mapping drone to support in their investigations of crime scenes and fatal vehicle accidents. Pending any questions, would ask your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 603-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 603-19 has been adopted.
The county auditor.
Resolution number 604-19, resolution authorizing a 3-month contract with Regionomic LLC for a tax abatement study in collaboration with the City of Columbus in the amount of $9,975.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Adam Seeley, Staff Counsel for Franklin County Auditor Michael Stinziano. The auditor respectfully submits a resolution for your consideration authorizing a contract with Regionomics LLC in collaboration with the City of Columbus for a total county cost of $9,975. Under the contract, Regionomics will study the direct and indirect impacts of commercial and industrial tax abatements in Columbus, which will inform the auditor's work as statutory chair of Tax Incentive Review Councils, TIRCs, throughout the county. And pending any questions or comments, the auditor recommends passage of the resolution. Thank you.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 604-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 604-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 605-19, resolution approving 3 subaward agreements with Action for Children, the Homeless Families Foundation, and Young Men's Christian Association of Central Ohio for the Spark Kindergarten Readiness Program in the amount of $749,944.84.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bivens, Director of Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services. We know that parents and caretakers are their child's first teacher. SPARK, which stands for Supporting Partnerships to Ensure Ready Kids, is a family-focused intervention program that's designed to equip families with the knowledge and skills to ensure their children are ready to enter into and thrive into kindergarten. Professional parent partners meet families where they are, whether that's in the by a home visit or a nearby library or another location, and provide monthly lessons to help evaluate children's early reading, language, and social skills. They also provide tips for parents to help foster positive learning development. All lessons are based on Ohio's early learning content standards, and Kent State University provides research and evaluation for the collaboration. We believe, Commissioners, that this program supports goal number 11 under the Poverty Blueprint, which is increasing the number of students at or near the poverty level experiencing academic success. Today you have with you an example of a bag that families and parents are encouraged to utilize in between each home visit our library visit.
I am really glad you got the sidewalk chalk. I've had enough of that stuff at my house.
You got paint.
I got the watercolors. I'm glad about that.
So,
My sidewalk can't take any more chalk. Would you get refrigerator magnets or something?
No, these are like letters, I guess.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
My daughter has,
So this is
my
what
daughters
families
and sons,
are getting.
my sidewalk and driveway have been sidewalk chalked to death over the
Oh,
years.
yeah.
So.
Yeah.
They get commissioners, they get one of those after each lesson over the course of a program year. That's about 12, ranging between 13 and 15. And each of those comes with a book, so those are 12 to
That-
13
Yeah.
books that are also going to remain.
That's
That's
cool.
the best part.
This is good stuff. This is a familiar book too.
we believe, Commissioners, this program supports our step-up efforts in addition to, in a different way outside of the traditional scope of just assisting providers in obtaining stars.
Everybody knows the very hungry caterpillar, don't they? Look, I see heads nodding out there. Yeah, look at, oh yeah. Dana has read that to her kids many times. This is great.
This is really important.
Thank you, Commissioner
And the
O'Grady.
books
Thank you, Commissioner Brown.
especially.
That's really good stuff. Very worthwhile.
Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 605-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution number 605-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Good job.
Animal control.
Resolution number 606-19, resolution authorizing transfer appropriations for the operation of the animal shelter.
Good morning, Commissioners.
How are
April
you?
Ricardo, Assistant Director for the Franklin County Animal Care and Control. We're here today to request authorization of appropriations for the operations of the animal shelter from the personnel services and fringe benefits to the materials and services to support costs. If any questions, we ask for your approval.
Tomorrow is my dog's least favorite day of the year.
What's
My
tomorrow?
kids go back to school.
Oh, yeah.
She gets to be alone for a few hours every day and she hates it.
But it's nice when she comes home.
Oh yeah, she'll go crazy every day.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 606-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 606-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanitary engineers.
Resolution number 607-19, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with CCI Engineering Services for construction, administration, and construction inspection for the National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project, Phases 1 and 2, in the amount of $1,199,238.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Sanitary Engineer is requesting the authorization of a contract with CCI Engineering Services to provide construction administration and construction inspection services for both phases of our National Pike Little Farms Neighborhood Water Main Replacement Project. Out of 8 statement of qualifications that were received, CCI Engineering was deemed to be the best fit to perform the work for this job. CCI and 2 of its 3 subcontractors are certified DBE firms. The fee for this effort is $1,199,239, which includes a 5% contingency. Funding will be provided by the Ohio Public Works Commission and has already been awarded to the county. The duration of the contract is 510 days, which covers both phases of the construction, which is aimed to complete at the end of 2020. The county has had a very positive working experience with CCI Engineering as they were the lead design firm for the Little Farms project, and we look forward to working with them again on this project. Pending any questions or comments, I request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 607-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 607-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are at community partnerships. Good morning.
Resolution number 608-19, Resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Local Matters to provide increased access to fresh fruits and vegetables to underserved communities using the Veggie Van in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Community Partnership Coordinator. This van will allow Local Matters to take their Veggie Van back out into the community and really serve that important role as a mobile grocer and a nutrition educator, really allowing communities to take advantage of their low-price produce and use their EBT benefit so that we can get that 2-for-1 match as we do with the Produce Perks program. And some of the partners that Local Matters is working with this year include Poindexter Place, the Senior Living Center, Bible Way Church, Equitas Health, and New Salem Baptist Church, for just to name a few. So pending any questions, I would request approval of this resolution.
Great. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 608-19.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 608-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Child support.
Resolution number 609-19, resolution authorizing closure of the Franklin County Child Support Enforcement Agency's Merchant Services account with Vantiv.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Susan Brown, Director representing the Child Support Enforcement Agency. I also have with me today Bill Peltz. I would like to introduce him as the agency's new Assistant Director. We also have a new Deputy Director, Kim Collins, who is not with us today because she had an appointment. But I would like to introduce Bill because he will be transacting future business for the agency for us.
Good morning.
Baker.
So this resolution authorizes the cancellation of a credit card processing account and agreement with Fifth Third and Vantiv Incorporated. The CSEA used these merchant services to process child support credit card payments made through the payment window at 80 East Fulton. On July 1st, 2019, the State of Ohio Office of Child Support transitioned to a new child support payment central vendor called Systems and Methods Incorporated, or SMI. Part of their services, they provide clients with both in-person and online credit card payment services through a mobile app or application, or online or in person. Vantiv requires that the account cancellations documentation be signed by the same signatory as to the original agreement. He probably doesn't remember, but Commissioner O'Grady signed that agreement as then board president. So this resolution delegates authority to Commissioner O'Grady to sign the documentation affecting the cancellation of the agreement with Vantiv. Pending any questions, I ask for approval.
Commissioner O'Grady, do you have anything to say for yourself?
I'm
Kidding.
happy to do
Delegated
it.
to you
Happy to do it.
Thursday.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 609-19.
Second.
Moved and second voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 609-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Justice policy and programs.
Resolution 610-19, resolution authorizing a consulting contract with Kerwin Institute for the study of race and a necessity to examine and address minority enrollment within the Franklin County Municipal Court specialized docket and support the Achieving Culture Confidence and Enhancing Specialized Support Access pilot program in the amount of $36,513.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Michael Daniels, Director of Justice Policy and Programs. Our first resolution this morning is a contract with the Kerwin Institute at The Ohio State University to take a look at racial disparities within the specialized dockets in the municipal court. As we know, people of color, particularly black men, are arrested much higher rate than their proportionality within the county would indicate. Conversely, they are dramatically underrepresented when it comes to specialized dockets. And so the question that Kerwin will be looking at is at all the decision points along the way, what are the factors that are going into either encouraging or discouraging people of color from participating, coming up with some racial equity training, as well as recommendations at the end for increasing racial equity within those dockets. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 610-19.
Second.
Moved to second voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 610-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 611-19, resolution authorizing a business associate agreement between NAFCARE and the Franklin County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs in furtherance of the care and continuity of just treatment for justice-involved individuals.
Commissioners, this is a no-cost business associate agreement between the Board of Commissioners on behalf of our office and NAFCARE. NAFCARE, as you know, is the firm that provides the medical and mental health services within the correctional facilities. They operate within an electronic medical record system called TechCare. This business associates agreement would give Liz Jordan in our office, who is our medically assisted treatment coordinator, access to that TechCare system, so she will have direct access to those medical records and won't have to wait for NAFCARE staff to pull or file or find records for her, thus expediting her ability to work in the jail and serve more clients. Pending any questions, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 611-19.
Second.
Moved to second voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 611-19 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 612-19, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract agreement with MS Consultants Incorporated to provide civil engineering services associated with the planning, design, and construction of the Franklin County Corrections Centers at an increase in the amount of the contract not to exceed $443,100, a total amount of $941,579.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Alexander, COO of Public Facilities Management. This modification to the contract is consistent with DLZ and Gilbane Smoot Conmods in order to maintain the same partners for the continuation phase of the Franklin County Correction Center. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 612-19.
Second.
Move to second voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 612-19 has been adopted. Resolution number 613-19, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract agreement with Electrical Specialists Incorporated, DBA, the Superior Group, to perform additional electrical activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center at an increase in the amount of the contract not to exceed $267,760 and a total amount of $26,934,425.
Can you repeat that amount again?
I have $26,934,425.
All right. One more time.
Million.
It's 267.
Oh, well, you guys.
$267,760 for a total of $26,934,425. That's what I have.
Okay, I just want to make sure, I'm sorry. Maybe I heard it wrong this morning, I apologize. This I'm sorry.
It should be 26.
Yeah, we're good.
Should be 26, okay.
Yeah.
Kenneth Wilson for the record. It seemed like everyone was a little unclear. The total amount, the way I read and the way it's presented here, after the contract modification of $267,760 is $26,934,425.
Yes.
That's what I have.
Yes.
That's what I have.
That's what it says here.
Are you good with that?
I'm good with that, thank you. This ConMod with TSG, the Superior Group, is to perform additional electrical activities to support the startup of Chiller #3 for the new correction center, which was procured directly by the county. Pending any question, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 613-19.
Second.
Moved to second voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 613-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 614-19, resolution approving purchases for the various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $2,533,534.89.
Commissioners, good morning. Chris Johnston, Purchasing Supervisor, representing the Franklin County Purchasing Department. Resolution before you seeks the approval of 153 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. Resolution includes 34 eligible purchase orders totaling approximately $569,000, and these are purchase orders for goods and services that have a higher likelihood of participation by small and emerging business enterprises. And of these purchase orders, 24 were awarded to small and emerging businesses, totaling $377,430.02, which is 71% of the eligible PO volume and 66% of the eligible purchase order dollar value. And pending any questions, I recommend approval of this resolution.
Yes, if you don't mind, if you could send around to the offices a sort of year-to-date update on our performance with regards to inclusion data. I just wanted to see it as a cumulative number to where we are so far.
Sure.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 614-19.
Second.
Moved to second voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 614-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 615-19, resolution authorizing supplemental appropriations for support of the Network Redundancy and Reliability Initiative.
Good morning, Commissioners. Juan Torres, CIO representing Board of Commissioners. This resolution is for supplemental appropriations for the Network Infrastructure Fund to support the purchase of network equipment for the new Forensic Science Center in the amount of $40,694. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 615-19.
Second.
Move to second voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Resolution number 615-19 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Juan.
And now we have a public hearing, and may I have the clerk please read the public hearing?
Yes. Public hearing. Resolution levying permissive increases related to the transfer of real property and manufactured home for the purpose of addressing the need to create additional affordable housing in Franklin County.
Okay, at this time, I would like to open the public hearing, and I've got one speaker slip here. Jim, did you want to?
Commissioner, we're just here to support you.
Okay. I've got one speaker slip here from Jerry Rhodes. If you'd like to come on up, I would remind you that you've got 3 minutes to speak, and we appreciate you being here. And if you could state your name and address and who you're representing, we'd appreciate that.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Jerry Rhodes. I'm representing the Bread Organization, which is down here in South 3rd Street. I live in New Albany. On behalf of the Bread Organization, we are thrilled that you're going to consider today an increase in the conveyance fee to be used for affordable housing. Earlier this year, we had members share stories with you about the need for affordable housing. Included among them were seniors, people with disabilities, single parents, and others. There are studies indicating a lack right now of about 54,000 affordable homes in Central Ohio, according to an article in the Columbus Dispatch from earlier this year. That calculation is based on a determination of how many low-income households pay more than half of their income on housing. These families must benefit from the proposed increase. I might add that that 54,000 number could very well be a moving target if there's a recession in the United States, which some economists predict is possible in the not-too-distant future. The Dispatch article says that as of August of last year, according to the Ohio Department of Taxation website, Franklin County is in the bottom 13% of Ohio counties, as we charge the minimum $1 per $1,000 conveyance fee. The Dispatch article further states that the maximum state allowed fee is collected by 60% of Ohio counties, including Cuyahoga, Cleveland area, Lucas County, Toledo area, Summit County, Akron, Canton area, and nearly a quarter of all counties collect $2 per 1,000, with a rate of $2.50 per 1,000 for a couple of counties. The article concludes that even if we in Franklin County doubled the current fee, we would still be on the low end among the counties in Ohio. We have been asking for an increase in the conveyance fee to the maximum allowed by state law. You have expressed concern about increasing the fee to the maximum, and we are sure you have valid concerns. However, we believe that this is the perfect time to make the move, and we wanted to state that in this last hearing today. It's a seller's market out there, as you well know, and an increase of $2 more per 1,000 is negligible and would hardly be felt. Some people say we can't afford to do this right now. The truth is we can't afford not to do this. Finally, we hope that you view BRED as an ally and not an adversary, and we look forward to working with you after today's vote to continue to ensure that our Franklin County residents have access to safe, decent, and affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We did not receive any other public comment slips. Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to speak on this public hearing? Okay, hearing none, we'll close this public hearing, and I really appreciate all of you being here today. We thank all of our residents for the input we've gotten, and I'm closing the public hearing. And now, if we could have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution was 616-19. Resolution levying permissive increases related to the transfer of real property and manufactured homes for the purpose of addressing the need to create additional affordable housing in Franklin County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Pleased to be here this morning to present Resolution 1619. Before I begin to talk about this resolution, I would like to thank Jim Shimmer, Alex, and the team at Franklin County Office of Economic Development and Planning, and Deputy Director Eric Janis for their efforts in putting this framework together. This plan before you, Commissioners, would complement $17 million in current investment that is being made in the county's budget for affordable housing and related initiatives. This plan here would contemplate adding a minimum of $6.5 million annually. That is the financial stimulant that is being proposed here. Also, this is a comprehensive plan. This is something that county administration asked for in the Board of Commissioners. You all demanded of us to bring something forward that was comprehensive and just did not consist of a conveyance fee increase, that there had to be other public policy initiatives considered. And I believe that this plan accomplishes that. It calls for the appropriate use of tax incentives where they're targeted towards affordable housing objectives. Within that, it looks at sales tax exemptions on affordable housing projects to consider tax increment financing when right, and as well as use of Community Reinvestment Act tax abatements. And lastly, it makes policy updates in the zoning regulations within townships that will promote inclusive and affordable housing. Lastly, it contemplates the establishment of a county housing magnet fund. The purpose of this fund is to provide greater leverage of available low-income tax credits that are available to stimulate affordable housing. Lastly, it would, if approved by the board this morning, will enable us to make greater use of the policy recommendations concerning the county land trust. And lastly, it provides us the ability to take progressive action when the right land acquisition opportunities are available, where we can secure property in certain locations to be able to sustain affordability in areas before affordability races out of reach. This plan is built upon the goal of providing 205 units per year for a 10-year total of 2,050 units. This will mean a total new investment of $65 million. Combined with current investments, the county would invest $235 million over the next 10 years in affordable housing initiatives. County administration views the recommended funding infusion of $6.5 million in additional dollars as the prudent amount for the marketplace to absorb at this time, and leaves flexibility to respond to future homeless prevention and affordable housing needs when called for. Additionally, not levying the maximum amount allowed by law shows fiscal discipline and fosters fiscal sustainability, which is extremely important to credit rating agencies. And credit rating agencies look at our bond rating, and that impacts the overall ability to endeavor in capital projects and other initiatives that impact the general welfare of the entire county and all of the responsibilities that we hold each and every day. OMB Director Zach Telerik will now talk about the rationale for recommending an additional dollar from the conveyance fee versus drawing down cash from other general fund revenue sources. County administration and OMB looked at a number of factors in settling on this recommendation, such as historical performance of existing conveyance fee during economic recessionary periods versus the demand for services for affordable housing and homelessness, what happens when you face severe recessionary cycles. The feasibility or reliance upon current unobligated or surplus fund balances for ongoing funding obligations. The existing unfunded mandates, involuntary state and federal funding partnership reductions that we are subject to on an ongoing basis. And lastly, existing budgetary commitments made when the 1/4% sales tax was continued. And I would note that this framework and the recommended action of levying $1 of the conveyance fee is not the only actions that this board will be taking over the next number of years to address the larger issues of poverty and the lack of economic mobility within Franklin County. You all are driving the force behind the Rise Together Franklin County Blueprint, which is focused upon housing, which is focused upon jobs, which is focused upon youth, and which is focused upon health. And we're here today because we know that housing is the roof upon which all of those things rest under. I will also note that to your credit, the dollar that has been in place since 2005, 2006, and this additional dollar that is being recommended today is 100% dedicated to the causes around homelessness prevention and affordable housing. And unlike other places around the state, it is not diverted to other general fund needs. So I would respectively say that I think this is a prudent approach to take. This resolution also requires county administration to annually look at the programmatic outcomes associated with the dollars that will come from the conveyance fee. And it would task county administration to make any recommended changes to ensure that we're getting the desired outcomes. So I appreciate very much the testimony that we've heard over the course of the last several months from everybody. We all are motivated by doing better in tackling challenges. But I will note as well that this burden and this challenge does not rest solely upon Franklin County. We have other governmental and private sector partners that are also working hand in hand with us to make affordable housing be less of an issue in Franklin County. The City of Columbus and the private sector both have recently stepped forward with announcements as it relates to affordable housing. So the actions that are here today are our best effort to be a partner in the solution and taking on this opportunity of making Franklin County be one of the best metro counties that are facing rapid growth, yet are tackling issues such as affordable housing before it's too late. So if there, I will now have our Director of Management and Budget go into the due diligence process involved in arriving at the dollar.
Thank you, Ken.
Commissioners, kind of looking back at the history, as Ken kind of had indicated, in 2005 the board had approved the levying of the first dollar of the permissive conveyance fee, which was dedicated 50% to the Affordable Housing Trust and 50% to the Community Shelter Board. At that time, there was also a suggestion that support on the revenue side it could be absorbed within the general fund and that the increase was not needed. I think history shows that the board made the correct decision at that time. Following the Great Recession in 2008, conveyance fees declined to a point that support for the Community Shelter Board required utilizing general fund reserves, despite, to maintain those critical services as well as others in light of the declining sales tax revenue and reductions in state funding. Looking at more recent history with the decision to continue the collection of the sales tax that was set to expire, the decision was made partially because the full amount of the $60 million that was identified from that 0.25% would be fully utilized. This included the backfill of the loss of the revenue from the sales tax on Medicaid managed care organizations, the desire to continue the investments in community partnerships, economic development, and sanitary engineering projects, maintaining the subsidies to our various non-general fund agencies such as Job and Family Services and Child Support, and to support the debt on the sales tax-backed bonds that were issued for the new correction center. In looking at the current general fund forecast, the final cost for two significant items still remains to be determined. The first is related to the staffing of the new correction center and the conversion to a direct supervision model. The initial estimate called for 80 additional deputy positions, which would ultimately cost approximately $10 million per year. The commissioners recently engaged a firm to look at the staffing requirements for the new facility, as well as to organize the transition process. The second is the cost associated with the upcoming master plan. The county has a number of facility needs, such as the replacement of elevators, the roof, and the windows in this building, which is approximately 30 years old. While last year's bond issuance included $50 million to support these facility preservation projects, more resources will likely be required to address the issues related to the county's aging infrastructure and the changing operational needs as the county continues to grow. In order to be able to address these significant items, as well as to ensure the counties remain fiscally sound in the long term, it is the recommendation of OMB along with county administration that the proceeds from an additional dollar in the permissive conveyance fee be used to support the affordable housing framework.
Thank you. Do my colleagues have any comments they wish to make?
Sure, I guess I'll start off. West Broad Elementary, Pinecrest Elementary, Fairmore Elementary, Ohio Avenue Elementary, Broadley Elementary, Pilgrim Elementary, Barrett Middle School, Crestview Middle School, Brookhaven, and East. Those are the 10 schools that I attended as a child here, growing up in Central Ohio, in 13 years of education. My family moved around quite a bit, and steeped in poverty at the root of some of our challenges was affordable housing. The idea that a single mom can raise 3 kids in a tough economy, in a tough environment, during a tough time, is a challenge that many families in Central Ohio face. And what we know for sure is that Central Ohio is not immune to that kind of poverty challenge. And so we have had to be very thoughtful as a Board of Commissioners on how we can address it. As I think back to my own childhood, and I didn't know quite what's going on with our family when we moved quite often, as I think back now and understand some of our deeper challenges, I feel very deeply compelled to take action when we can as commissioners. I want to assure the public that, and I know I speak on behalf of my colleagues when I say this because I've worked with them both for many, many years, is that there isn't a decision that we make that we don't think deeply about, that we don't partake in as much research as we can, and that we don't deliberate as extensively as we are afforded the opportunity to. This is an example of what I think has been a very thorough process, and not only hearing from the administration, which I might add has done a fine job of putting together a strategy that is a part of a mosaic of pieces to help us combat poverty in the big scheme of things. And so I want to thank both Jim and Alex for their thoughtful and courageous leadership to stand up and take on a challenge as an economic development element of Central Ohio, for your work. Done a good job and been very thoughtful about it. But I want to go back to just the consideration it takes. It's not easy to raise a fee or raise a tax because we know that there are always two ends of that spectrum and the impact. And so we take them very seriously. And we debate internally and sometimes passionately and strenuously. And we don't always agree on every element. And I want to assure the public that sometimes you see us come out and we do the sort of final stage of things and it seems rather smooth and not a lot of deliberation. I can assure you that as we've worked for this issue, on this issue over the last year, that we've had some tough conversations with each other, with the administration, with the public, and all the entities involved. But that's the beauty of the process. And so as I think back to my own childhood, it's good to know that there are people who are working to change that type of environment, to make a difference for those families that, like mine, struggled just to find a way so that that 7-year-old or 8-year-old kid maybe could go off to college and maybe take a different pathway in life for their own family. And that's really what this conversation is about. It's really about economic mobility for all families. Central Ohio is growing vastly. It is projected by the U.S. Census that we'll grow by over 1 million people over the next few decades. And with that, there's not a place in Central Ohio that you can't see cranes, orange cones, or some type of construction. And that is an implication of very positive growth. But like many have said in the past, it's a tale of two cities. We're growing and prospering in many ways, but there are some families who just aren't able to keep up. Our action today is an investment in the idea that everybody has an opportunity to be successful in Central Ohio. This investment of over $235 million over the next 10 years is a serious statement to say that this county, this Board of Commissioners, this community is committed to providing a pathway to everybody. I can assure you that we will continue, that this isn't the end of our work. Finally say that the work that we did over the last year on the poverty blueprint is, when I think, comprehensive. While, again, there are many things that we still have a lot of work to do. But I think we're off to a very good and sincere start. I really see the needle moving in a way that will be meaningful. You won't see it today, but you'll see it a few years from now, and that's where the rubber really meets the road. Today, we are 50,000 units short. That's almost 6,000 units a year. This cuts that down to about 4,000 or so a year, coupled with the work that Columbus is doing with our private sector development investment, and the much growth that is occurring in Central Ohio. I believe that this is the right step. Let me finally say to the BREAD organization, I want to commend you for being steadfast. We've not always seen eye to eye on every element of your requests and your testimony engagement, but I can assure you, you were heard. I can assure you, you were heard by all of the commissioners. We take your message seriously, and while you advocated for the $2 increase, know that we are trying to do the fiscally prudent thing, and we may be back here 5 or 10 years from now. And we want that ability to have the same kind of dialogue we had this time, so that, and your input is welcomed, your input is encouraged. And we do see as partners, and sometimes we don't agree, and sometimes it can seem stressful, but that's the process. That's the democratic process. And so I want you to know I'm so grateful that you are here, and I'm grateful for your input and grateful for your pushing us and holding us accountable, because that's also a part of the process. And so thank you for your contribution, your work. And I will not move for passage because I know my colleagues have something to say. And so I'll circle back after they conclude their remarks to make the move for passage.
And I'll try to be brief. Thank you, Kevin. 4 years ago when Kevin and I ran for, Commissioner Boyce, and I ran for office in 2000.
Call me Your Honor, sir.
Yes. The Honorable Commissioner Boyce and I ran in 3 years ago, 2016. We were asked the question, what are some of the most important pressing issues that you're dealing with at the moment in Franklin County? And the answer that I gave at the time was poverty and affordable housing. And we've been working on those issues pretty much the entire time that we've been here over this past term. We've been working on those issues with the professionals in economic development and planning, and these gentlemen are professionals who work with other professionals in their field, and work with other consultants in their field who they've brought to the table on this issue. Some of them in the room today. We've been working with our professionals in county administration and professionals, gentlemen who we respect very, very much as it relates to the county's budget and the county's dollars, who work every day, day in and day out, with rating agencies and brokerage firms here in town, and with professionals in the area of public finance, because the county's finances are at the forefront of what we deal with and what we have to deal with and what we have to put in the very front of what we do every day. And at the end of the day, it's about the citizens and the residents of Franklin County. And we've got to be able to do what is in the best interest of every resident every day in Franklin County. So we've been trying to figure out the answer to this problem and to these problems since day one, since the first day I got here, since the first day Marilyn got here 2 years before me, and since the first day Kevin got here 3 years ago. And we've been trying to listen to everybody. We've been trying to listen, I've met with folks from the BREAD organization annually since I arrived as a county commissioner. But we try to listen to the professionals that we have to work with day in and day out. And at the same time, we also have to understand that we are in the very, very enviable position of being in the county in Ohio and one of the counties in the country that our colleagues that we work with across the state of Ohio and across the United States would like to be in. They would like to be Franklin County commissioners. They would like to be in a community that's growing like our community is growing, and that has the future that our community has. And we have to be able to deal with the resources that this county has. We have to be able to project the growth that this community has, and we have to be able to preserve the resources that we have for future residents of this community, and for as as I can't remember her name, but as sister that came here and spoke last week encouraged us to think about the future. I have 4 children. I have a daughter who's trying to find a job in the professional sports world that's likely to take her outside of Franklin County. But it's also going to put her in a position where she's not going to be paid very well, and she's going to be faced with an affordable housing problem. And we're trying to help her with that. But I also have a son living in Cincinnati in not very desirable housing. And I have 2 younger kids. And, and I have, I'm going to have grandkids before 2 got awful long, and Maryland's got grandkids. And we have to think about the kids that aren't here yet. And we think about that every day. So, Maryland. Madam President.
I can't think of 2 other people I would want to wrestle with these issues than these 2. We have struggled. This issue, the issues of poverty in our community, they're not easy issues. They're about people in our community that are suffering, and these 2 guys on either side of me, plus our administration, our deputy county administrators, our directors, these are the 2 you want along with our administration. These are the people you want to work with. We come at issues from very different backgrounds, from very different perspectives, but the bottom line is we all understand we're talking about what's best for all of our residents in the community. And the bottom line is we all do understand that what we have to do in Franklin County is what works for our residents and what works for our financial sustainability at the county. And I think the action that we're talking about today is that balance, and it's not an easy balance to maintain, but we have a responsibility to all of our residents. And that responsibility is to manage the best that we can and do the best we can do for our residents, knowing we're not in this alone. We are in this with other entities that are working on these issues, and without our partners, we can't do this without all of you. We can't do this without the city. We can't do this without the private sector. And that's what this community is all about. So as we're considering this action today, I think, this is not the end of all actions. This is the beginning of another part of a journey, and I am happy to be on this journey with my colleagues and with all of you in the community. And we are making an impact for our residents. That's a positive one, and I would ask for a motion to approve, unless anybody has anything else to say.
I want to just also recognize Director Bivens from JFS. She's also a part of this big strategy. Director Schimmer, thank you for what you do every day. We know that you're on the front lines. We do. And appreciate and value your leadership and work. And so if there are no further comments or questions, I would like to move for adoption of Resolution 616?
Yeah.
616-19.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 616-19 has been adopted.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay. We have
Resolution number 617-19, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session to confer with the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office concerning pending or imminent litigation and to consider personal matters.
So move.
You gotta read it.
Oh, I gotta read it? Okay. All right. Motion, move. Yeah. Move to convene into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, promotion, or compensation of a public employee and to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action.
I have the easy part. Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Resolution number 617-19 has been adopted.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Red.